Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everybody out there. YouTube land. This is Moz coming to you with another episode of Moz's Toy Box. This is the toy photography recorded session. That's right. This is like the John Peel session of Moz's Toy Talk. That's right. We're going to be here recording and editing and then giving you information. It's crazy. I know. I never do this anymore. Wow. All right. So in this video, we're going to be going over the setup, the construction, and the photography process of one of my latest Batman shots. And this Batman shot, this is a ROVANIC Studios custom Night Lord Frank Miller's Dark Knight figure. You can find his information in the description below if you're interested in getting one of these custom pieces. All right, guys, so this here is the Batman shot in question. Now, again, like I said, we're using the ROVANIC Studios custom Night Lord figure here. I really love this piece. And if you pay attention, you can see something in the background, or in the foreground, actually, is stalking Batman. And it's a really cool shot. Now, another thing with this shot here is if you become a member on Moz's Toy Box, you can now sign up to be a member. If you become a member, it's not listed in the tier because I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing with that. But in the first tier, for the time being, anybody that subscribes as a member will get each month a new wallpaper for their phone and their desktop. So this will be the first wallpaper for your phone or your desktop, this Batman one. If you watch the live toy photography talks, Cinematoygrapher, aka Harry, will also be providing shots for desktops. Next month will be one of his, and we're going to put a poll up next week on what's going to be his shot. So be great, you guys, to be able to choose what his shot's going to be if you're a member, and we'll email those out to you at the end of next month. This one is coming at the end of this month, so get locked in now before the end of March, and you can get this wallpaper. It'll get emailed to you in a widescreen format that works on your monitor and a cropped format for your phone. So I'm pretty excited about that. All right, so we're going to pass this off over to my doppelganger in the studio, and he's going to walk you through the entire process, going from the diorama pieces that we made and the setup of the shots, lighting, everything. So let's go to my doppelganger in the studio and see what he's got to say about this shot. It's going to be epic, guys. I promise you. Over to you, Moz. YouTube land, this is Moz coming to you with another episode of Moz's Toy Box. This is the Toy Photography Talk episode. And today we are going behind the scenes of my latest Batman shot. This Batman is a custom Night Lord, aka Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns Batman 1/6 scale, and it's made by ROVANIC Studios. You can find his information in the description down below if you want to order one. They are not cheap, but they are beautiful. I love my Batman. It's the coolest Batman ever on any planet, ever. New 52 be damned. Coolest Batman. All right. So we took this shot, and we had to, this shot took me a long time to make. It was like 2 weeks of building this shot because I had to build the diorama, which I'm not, a old hat at it or anything. I just kind of throw things together. Now, in the diorama, we have custom made asphalt down here. So this is the cork board for the texture, painted with black gloss mixed with a glossy Mod Podge. And then after we painted all that, we did a clear coat of gloss on top of it, and it made it nice and shiny, almost like a wet asphalt. I got inspired by that. In fact, I asked Desi from Metamorphic Customs for insight on how to get that texture for 1/6 scale, and that's what he pitched me at, and that's what I did, and it's worked out great. It looks beautiful. For these are falling. These are crates that I made out of the pink foam. I think it's XPS foam you can get from Home Depot or Lowe's. Lowe's is green, I think, and the Home Depot one is pink. Either way, it doesn't matter, but you can get this stuff made. And now my wife's coming down here. All right, guys, we have returned to our regularly scheduled program. We had a slight interruption from the other member of this household, the spouse. How dare she? Anyway, we are back. So we were talking, I think, about these. Oh, and I knocked it over yet again. Talking about the foam crates. I made 5 of these. I also made for these pallets, which are also made out of foam. And these are all, hand painted, hand textured with a bristly brush. You can get them from the auto part stores. The metal brushes. I bought like a pack of 3 different sizes. It was like $9 from the auto part store. But you just run that over the foam, and you get some digs into the foam, and it makes nice texture. So when you base coat it with black, I don't think it's going to focus on it, but when you base coat it with black, it's going to give you those lines in it. So it's going to look like, from a glance, it's going to look like wooden materials, which is great, which works great for photography. I also made some boxes, handmade some boxes. This is I used soda cases. They're a thinner cardboard, and also use cereal boxes. It's also another thin cardboard. Those are a little thicker though than the soda boxes, strangely enough. To use those, you can find DIY patterns online to make boxes, and you cut the pattern out, and then you fold the box up. You could even go so far as to use some packing tape to cover the top of this, cut it into small strips, and I've done that on a few of them. But I really just wanted to get to the picture. I was tired of playing with it. But here's one with packing tape, and maybe I'll catch the light for you guys. I can't tell, but you can see a little bit of glint there. The shelving unit I made as well. I had some wooden dowel rods from some other projects, and I cut them all down to the same length to make the support beams, the vertical supports. And then the shelf itself is just black foam board you get from Kroger. It was like $3 a sheet, and I cut that up to the same size, made the shelves, and then I put a little piece of XPS foam on the underside to make it look like a support for the shelves. But this is all glued together, and it works. But enough about that. You guys aren't here for that. You're here for the picture process. And one other thing before we get into that, my evil doppelganger, who has been hosting this show this whole time, has probably forgotten to remind you to please like, share, and subscribe to this video and or channel, because, those are good things. Those things help me help you. Let me know, or let my doppelganger know, one of us, that you guys like what we're doing and or don't like what we're doing. And please comment. Even if you've watching this stream later, comment so that we know. And you'll know that we know. You see what I'm saying? Right. The other thing is, recently we just got channel memberships. And of course, the full monetization 9s. I don't know how I feel about that, but we'll see. We'll see how it works out. The membership thing is really new. I didn't know exactly what to offer you guys yet, but I know one thing I got coming in. So all my photography is going to end up, to the best of my ability, being made into wallpapers for your computer and or phone. And members will be able to download these wallpapers and put them, use them as they see fit. So with your membership, it'll probably be the next tier up. It won't be the base tier. I haven't even made the next tier yet, though. Let me stop it. So members will be able to do that here in the near future and get wallpapers of this artwork. And who knows? Maybe Harry will want to sign on. I don't know. I'm putting words in his mouth. I don't know. And give you some of his artwork as well. That's entirely up to him. We can ask him. Leave a comment. Ask him. We'll see, right? So with that, let's get into the actual shot. And yeah. So this is a Lume Cube. I have 4 of these. These are great. These are great little lights. You can use a phone app to control it. I don't, because I use my phone to control my camera. And you can put cool little, devices on them, like snoots, so you can pinpoint that light. But I didn't use a snoot here. For this particular shot, I have a Lume Cube right here. And this Lume Cube is on, not right this second, but I'm turning it on now. And it's not on that high because my exposure time is really, long. It's like 4 seconds. So you don't need a lot of light when you do that. You have, a lot of light. Your lens is open really wide and for a really long time at the apertures that I'm running and the shutter speed. So when your shutter speed is slower, your lens is open longer and it lets in more light. Great things. I have another lume cube down here. So this lume cube here, what this is going to do is just going to feather out some light and just catch on this tail a little bit, because I don't want this tail to really be in the shot. I want this tail to be something he's like, did I see that? He's turning around like, what was that? So really cool thing here. Now, the other light I have on for this shot is this light here. This light back here has got blue gels in it. And what we're doing with this light is we're just creating the whole evening kind of, because this is a warehouse at night, right? So it's, whatever moonlight's coming in, whatever window. I don't have a window set in the scene, but just a tone, really, just to get that moody, darker nighttime tone. The other thing that we did is, of course, we had these bounce cards. I have 3 different bounce cards in here. And each one of these is bouncing some of this light to the, back on the Batman, because I only have the overhead light. I want whatever spillage, including this bounce. This is a big bounce card here. Any spillage to kind of come back towards Batman, because this is supposed to be, just one warehouse light out of many. So I want any spillage to come back to him, because, light will leak over and over all over the place. The other device I have here is we fill up the scene with this haze machine. This is the Chauvet Hurricane Haze 1DX. You can buy whatever you want, but I chose a haze machine because haze itself will linger in the scene and not be as thick as fog. And if I need fog, we all know how I do that. I just vape. So that's how I do that. When I'm taking this shot, if you notice in the shot itself, I have this kind of light outline going on him. It's very directional looking. Now, there's a couple ways you can do that, but the way I did it is I made this little grid here. I call it a grid, although a grid would be cut across, but technicalities, right? And what I did is I would hold this right up here against this one light here, right? And I would blow some of the vape, because I'd have the haze filling up the scene, but I'd blow a little bit of vape and get it coming down through this same area. And you don't want a lot of extra haze in here, because that's going to create more light refractions. It's going to diffuse light and make the whole scene brighter and wash out this effect. So we got just a little minimal amount of haze in the scene from the haze machine. And then we have a bunch of haze, well, it's fog, haze, whatever, coming through this area specifically. And so it's going to create those light beams, which is something I've finally learned exactly how to do, which is great. Because in fact, if you were watching last week, I was asking Trevor, how do you nail this? And it's very dependent upon not getting washed out. None of these light sources that I have are overly powerful. And I didn't allow too much haze to fill the entire scene, because that's just going to start reflecting a whole bunch of light back at the camera. So we got this, and we got it minimized to this little bit, and it just made nice little hazy. It brought out the light, which is what you wanted to do. The next thing I did, well, that was essentially it. The next thing I did, though, is in a different shot, because I don't have the hands, I didn't have the tool to hold that piece of foam with the grid up. I'm going to buy another stand, I promise you, with another clip, because this one here holding this alien tail, this clip here sucks. This whole wire, this whole gooseneck sucks, and this clip won't fit on the nice gooseneck. So these other goosenecks that have the lights, these are awesome. I'm going to have links to these. I know if you go to 1/6 Shooter, he's got links to them as well, because he pointed me in that direction. It was great. All right. So what I did for the tail effect, if you notice, if you look at the shot, there's a blur to it. Now, the first time I did this is what I did is I just took the tail, since I have a long shutter speed, I just grabbed hold of it and just slowly pulled it towards me from this side, because I want the tail to be coming, this way. So you just kind of slowly pull it and you get a blur. Now, that was a recommendation from Trevor, by the way. to move it, because I had tried it also in post, because the fog wasn't quite right, and I didn't want to risk messing up things by masking out one tail and putting the other and having the fog not match. It's a pain in the butt when you have fog. But it worked out. We got it. But my first time doing it is in Photoshop. I added a motion blur to the tail, and it looked kind of choppy. It looked kind of fake, just for lack of a better word. All right. So as far as Batman's pose goes, this is the 1/6 scale custom Night Lord figure from ROVANIC Studios. And the cool thing is the cape here. The cape is not wired. The cape is a very free-flowing, drapey cape. But I took this armature wire and I ran it, I tucked it into his belt, and I ran it down and around that curvature kind of way around, and I let it go even further than the cape. But I had to go off camera at that point, because what I didn't want to happen is I didn't want the cape at the tip to start sagging down like it's, being propped up inside the cape, but not outside the cape. So I ran that wire all the way, and I put it on this clamp, so I had the leverage where I wanted it. I got it clamped here, so it's coming back up and keeping that cape in kind of a swoopy, little bit upwards motion, not going down. So that's how I got the cape to do that. And then, of course, a bunch of finagling with the rest of the cape as well. And if you're looking into this figure, he does not come with these open hands. These open hands, by the way, are Darth Maul's hands from the DX-17, maybe 18. I don't know. One of the two. We got this board here. This one is really, it's not technically in use for any of the lighting. What I got it here for is just to keep the fog from the haze machine in the scene and not drifting way out into the living room or something. So guys, there's all the settings for the shot that we took with the Batman in the warehouse. I'm of course going to use these pieces again for something else, but that's pretty much everything. Now, as far as the camera settings themselves, we'll go over that with my doppelganger, of course. And I'm sure, again, I'm going to have to remind you guys, like, share, comment, subscribe, please. And also, if you're inclined, become a member. Get some wallpapers out of this when I get to that. I'm working on it, I promise you. This will probably be one of the first wallpapers, this shot. So keep that in mind. All right, so back to you, Maz, in the studio. Oh, Maz, thank you so much. I really appreciate the fact that you even suggested that they should like, share, and subscribe, and comment if they like this video, because that's the best way to let us know what's going on, right? And thank you so much again for going over the shot process for our viewers. They really do appreciate the extended time that you've taken to put this whole thing together, I'm sure. And we'll talk to you next time. All right, guys, so there you have it. There's the process that we use for this Batman shot, the behind the scenes, the built diorama pieces, and the basics on how this was built, so you guys can maybe figure out how you want to build diorama pieces that might help you further yourselves as a toy photographer, indoors, outdoors, whatever. I'm really hoping that you guys enjoy this content. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. And as always, thank you again. Enjoy. Have a good day.